Okay, so we are going to quickly review how to rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise and 180 degrees. Okay, so real quickly, if you haven't done so already, I want you to write in the coordinates of point A, B, C, D, and E. Okay, so A and B are there for us. C looks like it's 5, 4. D is 6, 6. And E is 3, 6. Okay, so we're going to rotate our papers 90 degrees counterclockwise. So you're actually going to take your paper and you're going to turn it in this direction. Okay, so when we're done, this flag should move over into the second quadrant. Remember, if you make a C, this is the first, second, third, and fourth quadrant. Okay, so take your paper, turn it 90 degrees counterclockwise, and it should look like this. Okay, even though your paper is sideways, I still would like you to write down A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime, and E prime. Okay, so remember, this is our first, second, third, and fourth quadrant. Okay, so when we are done graphing our rotation, our flag should look just like this in our second quadrant. Okay, so I'm going to write down the coordinates of the flag after the rotation. Okay, so if you notice, A doesn't move because it's right on that center of rotation. B is to the left 4 and up 2. So because I went backwards on the x-axis, B is negative 4. And then because I went up, the y is 2. Okay, for C, again, backwards 4, up 5. So C is negative 4, comma, 5. D prime is backwards 6, up 6, so negative 6, 6. And E is backwards 6, up 3. So negative 6, comma, 3. Okay, now I want you to take your papers, turn it back, and we are going to plot these points. Okay, so we said that A stayed right on 0, 0, so I'm going to label that A prime. B, we said was backwards 4, up 2, so I'm going to label that B prime. C prime was backwards 4, up 5, so we're going to label that C prime. D was negative 6, 6. And E was negative 6, 3. So E prime. Okay, now that we have all of our points plotted and labeled, we're going to go ahead and connect. Okay, we're going to make sure that our flag is in our second quadrant, okay, and that it looks just like our picture from the rotation. Okay, so if you notice here, this flag looks identical to the one we plotted. Okay, so let's go ahead and write our image coordinates in our graph. So we had 0, 0, negative 4, comma 2, negative 4, comma 5, negative 6, 6, and negative 6, 3. Okay, what I'd like you to do now, if you haven't done so already, is write the rule for rotating 90 degrees. Okay, so compare your x and y coordinates in your original to your x and y coordinates in your image. Okay, think about, is it going to change if I picked the quadrant or picked a different quadrant? Number 3, do any of the points remain unchanged and how come? And if I was to keep rotating this flag, would I create a symmetrical design? Once you have finished answering questions 1, 2, and 3 on page 14, we are going to rotate the flag 180 degrees in part B on page 15. Okay, so if you notice here, I've already taken my paper and turned it upside down, or two 90-degree rotations. Okay, so what I'm going to start by doing is writing out A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime. Okay, so I'm going to see where these points end up after the 180-degree rotation. Okay, so again, A does not move, stayed on 0, 0. Don't forget that when we're looking at our graph, this is the first, second, third, and fourth quadrant. Okay, we are going to pretend like this is now our x-axis, and this is the y. Okay, so to get to B prime, we had to go backwards 2, down 4. Okay, so B prime is going to be -2, -4. C prime was backwards, only backwards 5. So backwards 5, down 4. So -5, -4. D prime was backwards 6, down 6. So -6, 6. And E prime was backwards 3, down 6. So it'd be -3, -6. Okay, even though your paper or your coordinates are going to be upside down, go ahead and turn your paper so it's facing upwards again. Okay, you are going to write this on page 15. If you notice, I'm going to be graphing it back on part A so you can see how it compares to both. Okay, but you will be plotting this on page 15. Okay, so we said A prime was still 0, 0, so we're going to label this now. Let's do double primes because we did 2 rotations. Okay, we said B double prime was -2, -4, so I'm going to go backwards 2, down 4, make a dot, label. C we said was -5, -4. Make a dot, label. D we said was -6, 6. Or I'm sorry, -6, -6, so make a dot, label. And we said E was -3, -6. So again, plot and label. Okay, you're going to go ahead and you're going to connect your points together. And you are going to make sure that the flag that we just plotted in the third quadrant looks identical to the flag of the original when our paper was upside down. Okay, so if you notice it's in the third quadrant, okay, you can kind of see that the bottom of the flag is pointing upwards. So if I compare it to my one that I graphed, you can see that it's in the third quadrant and the flag right there is facing upwards. Okay, just like you did before, I'd like you to please fill in the original coordinates on page 15. Then I would like you to just jot down the coordinates after the 180-degree rotation, and then answer questions number 1 and 2. Okay, you're going to tell me how the x-coordinates relate to the x-coordinates in the image, and how the y-coordinates relate to the y-coordinates in the image. And again, tell me if I was to start in a different quadrant, would the same rule apply?